Hunt with Jim Shockey for giant Canadian whitetails. Canadian Whitetail Adventures Limited is Jim's exclusive hunting territory in the undisputed hotspot for big bucks, Saskatchewan. Superior genetics and great forage combine to produce truly amazing whitetails. Stay in comfortable cabins and enjoy delicious home cooking while experiencing the trophy whitetail hunt of a lifetime. Black bear. Pacific Rim Outfitters put you in some of the best black bear territory in North America. On Vancouver Island for truly giant black bear. And in Saskatchewan for huge bear, including a good number of color phase animals. If you dream of taking a trophy black bear, Pacific Rim Outfitters can help you make that dream a reality. Jim Shockey's Canadian Whitetail Adventures and Pacific Rim Outfitters. To book your hunt or for more information, call today.
Hi, I'm Jim Shockey. Welcome to this Hunting Adventures video. You know, one of the great things about hunting is it's all an adventure. There's big adventures, like riding my Kazakh pony around the high mountains of Kyrgyzstan, looking for Marco Polo sheep. And there's small adventures, like sitting on a deer stand, listening to the coyotes first thing in the morning. It's the fantastic thing about hunting. Enjoy. What a hunt! I cut my teeth hunting whitetails out in Saskatchewan. Started when I was 14. I've been doing it for 30 years now, so I know whitetail hunting. Moose hunting, same thing. I started hunting them when I was 16. In my family, if we didn't get a moose every fall, we didn't eat a lot of meat in the wintertime. Elk are a totally different matter. Vancouver Island is located off the west coast of British Columbia. It's a spectacular place of fjords and inlets and coastal mountains. It's about 400 miles long as well, and it's covered in temperate rainforest. Some parts of the island actually get over 200 inches of rain a year. As a black bear outfitter on Vancouver Island, one of the things I like are all the rivers and creeks, every one of them filled with salmon at certain times of the year. My hunters that come up in the fall can enjoy some spectacular world-class salmon fishing, and that's wonderful. But what I like about it is all the nourishment it provides for the black bears that are in my area. They're some of the biggest black bears on the planet. The average size my hunters take is tremendous. And these fall bears, that's when they're the biggest and fattest of the year. It's a nice sideline when you're hunting the black bears that you're also seeing the Roosevelt elk that live on the island. These Roosevelt elk are the largest elk in the world as well. They can weigh 200, 300, 400 pounds more than a big Rocky Mountain elk, and their antlers are more massive, heavier, shorter beam, and they're also crowned on the top. The head guide for my hunt was a fellow by the name of Sean Lingle. Sean and I go way back. He guides for me in my black bear territory and for whitetails in Saskatchewan. His assistant guide on this particular hunt was a fellow by the name of George Adlington. George also guides for me both for black bears and for whitetails, but on this particular hunt they were guiding for another outfitter by the name of Dave Fife. That's who I booked the hunt with. The two of them started scouting weeks in advance of the hunt. They're both loggers up there, so they have all kinds of insight as to where the elk might be, and their buddies are out there telling them where they've seen elk. And they saw some great elk. Right off the bat, they knew where there was 3 big bulls. One of the bulls that they knew about was a huge 7x7. They didn't get him on video, but they knew about him, and that's the bull we started hunting on opening morning.
We've got one raghorn bull spotted in the slide opening morning. We're hoping the whole herd is down below him around the corner, but he's going to make it tough for us to get closer. He's looking right at us.
Unfortunately, the young raghorn bull blew out of there and took the herd with him, including the 7x7 that we were after. It was pretty disappointing considering all the preseason scouting that George and Sean had done. They felt that our best shot at that bull was going to be opening morning. At that point, there wasn't much that we could do except get up on a high vantage and try and spot that herd, figure out where they went, find the slash that they might be feeding in, or the old growth, second growth that they might be bedded in. After the problems we had on the first day when we lost that big bull, it took us 2 more days to find them.
Look at that bull. He's got some real nice weight. Jim, those front dickers are long. Like they're like that long, and they curve up that much. Eh? They just come way up. See that? They curve right up. I don't know, Sean. I don't think he's big enough for me. Hey, Jim. Lift it up. He got me up, and now he got me down. He's only 100 points bigger than my last one. Yeah. I know. We could try for bigger. Yeah. I'm sure there's bigger out here. Yeah. He has a nice bull. It's beautiful. Here. We just saw the bull that we've been waiting for 3 days. A great big 7x7, heavy, with huge brows coming way out, curling up. He's 250 yards away with a rifle. He's down, but muzzleloader, we gotta wait. Take a chance of losing him, but we gotta wait till we can get down there and get closer. What are we gonna do, oh great fearless leader? We're gonna get down and get closer. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good.
Even though the bull was only 250 yards away, we had to walk nearly 2 miles around the base of the mountain to come up on him from downwind.
Whatever bull did this is the one we're looking for. What a monster. He tore this whole tree apart.
After seeing the bull and seeing that monster rub, if you think that we weren't filled with anticipation as we made that final stalk to get within 100 yards of that bull, you'd be wrong. My heart was pounding.
He's gonna come through there. Okay, yeah, I'll get a shot there. When he goes by that cow. Tough shot, he's behind the cow. Wow, that's a long time to hold steady on an animal. He's going back the other way.
I had the safety off and was sighted through my loophole scope for what seemed like an eternity. I was solid, the rest was perfect, as I waited for that bull to give me any kind of a shot. Every time he looked like he was going to come in the open, he didn't. There'd be a cow behind him or in front or a branch in the way or a tree in the way. It was the toughest thing I ever had to do was not force the shot, to let that bull walk out of my life after all the work we'd done to get in that close to him.
Marginal shot. Oh, God, that's bad luck. He went right over the top. I can't believe it. We waited here so I could see the top of his tines when he got up. He never gave me a shot.
If you think that was bad luck, you won't believe what happened the next morning just after daybreak. That click you just heard was the sound of a total amateur. We bumped into the herd and the bull was right there, and it happened so quick I forgot to put a cap on my muzzleloader. So when I squeezed the trigger, nothing happened. Click. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. I'm still trying to let it go.
Hey, Sean. Sean, does it get any dumber than that? How dumb is that?
That's amazing.
How dumb is that? Even the first shot, he was 300 yards. I mean, 200. How dumb is that? Yesterday was dumb, this is dumber. Oh, Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy.
I was a little depressed, all right, but not because I'd forgotten to put a cap on my muzzleloader. I was depressed because there was a camera there documenting that whole big dumb mistake. Sean, the consummate professional, could have strangled me, and he should have strangled me, but didn't. Instead, he made a plan. We waited all day, and towards evening, he set us up where he felt the elk might come down.
We think the elk are coming down this trail. We spotted him from way on the other side. The big bull hopefully will come down below me, but I gotta get in position to be able to shoot. It's gonna be really close, and I have to be dead still. They could be here any minute.
Here they come. I can't wait. If I wait, he's gonna get. Okay. I'm gonna take him now.
Yes! He's going down. Nice shot, Jim. What a shot.
Hey, Sean.
Right on.
That was
Right on.
that was some kind of guide in there. That was perfect.
Finally, we get to touch the bull we've been chasing for what, 5 days?
5 days.
What?
5 long days.
5 long days. George saw him the day before the season. You've been scouting for a month at least. You've never seen this bull.
Never seen this. It came out of this stuff. You can see how thick this stuff is.
I know how thick it is now.
We had another bull picked out. They've been watching for quite some time. This guy showed up the day before. George spotted him from the other ridge. He must have come in. He took all the cows away. The other guy's laying down somewhere.
Right. And this is a muzzleloader world record by eclipses the old world record. This extra point, 7x7, ivory tips, all curled in.
This bull has everything. I mean, you see these front brows, so they go in and they curl up like that. It's just gorgeous.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, Roosevelt elk hunting on Vancouver Island in Dave Fife's territory, Sean Lingle, my guide, it just doesn't get any better than this. It's unbelievable. If you ever get a chance, come on up and try it. And Sean, I'll be here next year again. I've already booked in. You're going to guide me?
I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
I'm going to set up a tent blind in here. I know there's a big buck, a big whitetail buck. There's also some big mule deer bucks. I'm here in Saskatchewan. What a lot of people don't realize is Saskatchewan has some of the biggest mule deer in the world. They live right in this area. The problem is you've got to be a resident of Saskatchewan to be able to hunt them. And even for residents, it's a draw only. So whenever we hear of anybody that gets drawn, we ask them, can we come and video your hunt? The first hunt you're about to watch is with a young hunter by the name of Jeff Colburn. Now, many of you have seen Jeff before in my videos. He's the son of Ron Colburn, my head guide in one of my Saskatchewan whitetail camps. Ron's my first cousin. We hunted together since we were kids. The idea out in Saskatchewan is to set up on one side of a patch of buckbrush and send a bush pusher around the far side of the patch to try and push the mule deer towards you. It's not as easy as it sounds. You really have to know your stuff to be in the right position. And Jeff knows his stuff. On the hunt you're watching, as is usual, the doe came out first. That's normal. Those big guys don't like to come out first. For some reason, they're a little bit chicken. They send the ladies out first to see what's going on. Unfortunately for the buck that was following this particular doe, she didn't do him any favors whatsoever. She didn't run back and warn him that there's big trouble lurking just ahead.
Stand up, okay? Them boys. Oh, see that? He is big. Oh, my heart's pounding. He dropped like a sack of potatoes. Oh, yes. Well, this is the deer that we were looking after. As I said before, he came right down this little draw here, and he followed the doe right down, so it must be in rut. It's my second muley buck I've ever shot, so I'm pretty happy about him. It's a pretty nice buck, I think.
I guess that was a nice buck. You're about to watch the hunt for an even nicer buck. The hunter this time is Brandy Robbins. Brandy is the brother of Cody Robbins, who many of you know as my main cameraman. Cody follows me all over the world, and he is a tough cameraman. He also fancies himself to be a bit of a mule deer expert. So when he heard that Brandy had been drawn in a special area in Saskatchewan, he offered to take him out and help him find a big mule deer buck. I'm not so sure Cody would have been as forthcoming with his help if he'd been the one to be drawn. We're giving credit where credit is due though. Cody did know where there was a big typical buck, and that's where he took Brandy early in the morning. Cody knew this buck had been feeding in an alfalfa field. So they set up in the darkness and waited for the buck to come across, which it did following a doe. The problem is out there in those big open areas, you never know where the buck's going to travel when he's coming off the field in the morning. So they set up where they thought they'd be close enough, and they were, but just barely. That buck was a long way out there. It was a long muzzleloader shot for Brandy. Fortunately, he's got nerves of steel. Perfect shot. The great thing about having the snow on the ground too is even if that buck does go a couple hundred yards, you will be able to find him.
Looks like a pretty nice deer. I think I got a good hit on him. Good job, buddy. Yeah. Right on. Some blood right here. There he is. Right on. He's down.
Look at that deer. Look at that. That is a beauty. We spotted them out in this alfalfa field this morning. They're way out there. First light and they started coming in. They're coming in pretty hard. There was half a dozen bucks or 5 maybe. He was in the bunch. Come within 130, 140 yards. Give me a broadside shot. Let her rip. Got the job done, I guess. Pretty nice deer.
We're in Cape Dorset, up in Nunavut territories in Canada. Going to head out on a walrus hunt, a spring walrus hunt. Very rare thing. I've never done it. Should be exciting. Probably the warmest day of the year so far, so I was kind of hoping for 30, 40 below, but unfortunately we've only got about 10 below. And you can see it's quite a family affair. These are, everybody coming walrus hunting? Everybody's going to come walrus hunting? They will someday, maybe not now. But we're just getting the Cometics loaded up and we're going to be off onto the ice. I guess we're in a 22-foot canoe. Should be an adventure for sure. Which one's captain?
Captain Simigak Simeoni.
Simigak Simeoni?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Pichula Paluk.
Hey, it's okay. This is
Yeah.
Patsulak Paluk.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and our helper, Tak Nuna. Takelo Nuna.
Takeo Nuna.
Takeluk.
Takeo Nuna. Okay. So you go by Nuna?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Tak will do.
Tuck? Okay, good. That's easier for me to remember.
Yeah.
And Captain? Aye, Captain will do whatever you say. He's a big hunter for the community.
Yeah.
The best. We've snow machined about 15 minutes outside of town to where they've got their canoes waiting, stored out here on Cometics already. Now we're just loading up, I guess, and pulling the canoes out to the water. We're out at the ice edge now with polar bear tracks. You can see where there's old walrus kills along here, and it's time to get changed. Temperature's taking a little bit of a drop, so I really feel like getting undressed out here with this wind, but there's no other way to do it. You gotta wear a survival suit out here. Holy moly, I need a survival suit just to put on my survival suit. The traditional Inuit name for Cape Dorset is almost impossible to pronounce, but it means place of fast currents. In that area, the tides are so high, they create currents that are strong enough to keep the ocean from freezing over in spite of temperatures that can drop down to 40 and even 50 below. Those are harpoon points, brass harpoon points. They find the brass from propellers of ships that have gone aground up there. And those harpoon points and harpoons are an important part of walrus hunting up in that area. You'll see why later. Fred Webb set up this hunt for me. It was a little different than most of the walrus hunting I've done before. Usually you hunt them in the summer, but this was an early hunt in March. A really cold early hunt. The idea was to get out on the ocean, find vantage points, and then glass for these walrus that are feeding in these open areas or even basking on small icebergs that are in the open areas. It was a interesting hunt. I mean, a little bit frightening because at slack tide in that area, the ocean will actually freeze up around you. And when you're in a 25-foot canoe, that's a spooky feeling. Real civilization is 1,000 miles away and there's nobody going to come out there and save you if you do run into a problem. But when you see your first walrus, when you see them diving and coming up for air and see those tusks, you forget all about the danger, you forget all about the cold. They are just so big. A lot of times too, there's optical illusion, almost mirages. You look out across the water and you think you're seeing rocks out there, but that's actually the walrus on that iceberg. It's a mother and a baby. That's not what we want. We're looking for something real big. So we just let them go away and keep looking. Not lots of walruses out here today, but that's because the ice is too far maybe, I don't know. We found a walrus. We're gonna go after him now. He's on a tiny little ice floe. Man, my fingers are freezing. It's cold out here. Okay, let's go.
Okay, now.
Okay?
Yeah. Chào bác đi. Không có đâu mà. Cái mẹ. Chú nó vào không có đâu. Đi, ra đi. Anh đi đâu cái gì mà? Nó vẫn này à?
We walked, poof, cold. And then they had to, when he went in the water, then to keep him from sinking down, they have to harpoon him and then they hold him there. And then he just dies in the water like that. And then I don't know what we do. I guess pull him in the boat. 2 tons or 2,000 pounds of walrus in the boat with us. He's big, eh? They're huge animals. Wow. Oh, it's just no way to describe this. We're gonna get this thing back and the whole community is gonna have walrus tonight for dinner. Me too. We got him. Now it's getting dark in about an hour and we got a long way back in against the current pulling this walrus so we can butcher him up on the ice floe. It's going to be a race to the finish through the ice. Hopefully it doesn't freeze up on us. But yeah, what a monstrous animal. What a hunt. Spectacular. I don't know if I recommend it or not, but it's worth trying once in a while, or at least once. Now we just got to get our motor started and in we go. Hopefully we got enough gas. I don't feel like hitchhiking home out here. I've hunted moose up in the Yukon many times. One of my favorite hunts was with Dave Coleman, McMillan River Outfitters. It was an early season hunt, an August hunt. The moose were still in velvet. Some hunters prefer to fly up to the Yukon. I prefer to drive. Maybe it's because in the pre-94 Mighty Dodge, it only takes me 2 hours to make the 3,000-mile trip up to Whitehorse, the jumping off point for most Alaskan Yukon moose hunts in the Yukon. I always have loved moose hunting, but I was really excited about this particular hunt, mostly because it was taking place right on the border of the area that I just purchased up in the Yukon, the hunting territory I just purchased. I wanted to make sure that that area held the biggest moose in the world, and after I met Tyler and the wrangler Doug, and they confirmed that there was big moose in the area, I knew we were in for a great hunt.
Well, we've landed in the Tay River. This is McMillan River Outfitters special moose camp. And we're gonna head out to another camp for another day horse drive, and then another 6 hours up to where we're gonna spike camp. And my guides, Doug and Tyler, have just come in from another camp. They've actually packed in here today, so I got to fly into this camp. The weather's beautiful. We're supposed to have another week of gorgeous weather, and we're gonna look to bust the world's record muzzleloader Alaskan Yukon moose. I think we'll do it. If it's half as big as my horse, my God, we're gonna get the world's record for sure.
It wasn't an unrealistic expectation to look for a world's record muzzleloader Alaskan Yukon moose either. At that time of year, early August, you can take horses into the backcountry, up into the high hanging basins, where you hope to find the moose still patternable and living where they did all summer. There is other ways you can hunt moose, and later in the year too. You can hunt them in September during the rut, and you can use boats to cruise the edges of rivers or lakesides and hope to bring the bulls out by calling. At that time of year though, we were definitely horseback, heading into a remote cabin, from there spiking out, staying in tents, hoping to find those big moose that never see humans. Part of the reason the Yukon is such a great area to hunt moose is because there's only 30,000 people live there, and most of those live in Whitehorse, the capital city at the southern end. The rest of that area never sees humans, so if there's a fire starts, a burn in the forest, they just let it burn. Well, what happens is you get hundreds and hundreds of square miles of great moose habitat.
We just topped the very first ridge of where we were going to our spike camp, and there's 4, 5, 6 bulls, 3 cows. We haven't even started looking yet. This is unbelievable. At least one of them is over 200 plus bull. But we're looking for 230, 240, 250. But we'll settle for 225, the world's record for the muzzleloader. This is an amazing place. Oh, there's another one coming up. One thing, if you're going to be a guide, you got to know the answers to everything. You never want to look like you don't know the answer, even if you don't know it. So, Tyler, what's the name of the place we're headed to today? That little river?
I don't know the English name, Jim, for that, but I know the First Nations name. It's something like Gamoynakoite.
Yeah, that's
Something along there.
that right, eh?
It's a good spot. Shangri-La.
The guide always gets the best side of the fire. I think I'm melting. What, Tyler, what mountain are we going to be hunting on anyway today?
I don't know the real name. I just know the native name, and it's Lope. That's the only name I know.
What was that name again?
Tyler was being a little mystic and obtuse when he was referring to the specific moose hotspots we were hunting, for good reason. The big bulls live there. As we hunted, we'd bump into these sheds dropped by moose that were larger than the world's record rifle moose, let alone the world's record muzzleloader moose. I was pretty happy that I'd purchased the area bordering on that country. Eventually though, after several days of hunting, there was no denying it. What was there was there. At that time of year, you're not going to get a big new bull coming into the area because of the rut. They're living there. And we decided, we finally actually convinced ourselves that one of the bulls we've been seeing was big enough to go after.
We spotted our bulls. Grandpa, we call him. We've seen him 4 days in a row. I think he's the world's record. We think he's the world's record. And now we made a long walk. We're going to try and get in front of him. I'm going to load up here. Hope it doesn't rain on us between now and then. I'm nervous. I shouldn't be nervous. It's only a 63-inch bull. Look at this magnificent bull up here in McMillan River with McMillan River Outfitters, Dave Coleman's operation. My guide Tyler Sherry put us on this bull 4 days in a row. We call him Grandpa. He's got a great big drop tine down the bottom and a huge wide pan on the far side. His left side is magnificent. I mean, just huge. It would have been world's record if he'd have matched both sides like that. And it still might be. The record book guys, they can measure him up and find out. What a magnificent, magnificent animal. Man, I love moose hunting. Love moose hunting. 4 days in a row. Thank you, Tyler. What a guide.
There is a place where you can go hunting and you don't have to worry about this kind of sign. It's way up in the high Arctic. The only problem is you won't be hunting white-tailed deer up there. You'll be hunting animals like muskox and caribou. The hunt you're about to watch is a muskox hunt. Not just any muskox hunt, it's a Greenland muskox hunt. That's the species. Up on Victoria Island in the high Arctic, north of Kugluktuk in Nunavut territory. That I was hunting with Doug Koenig. Doug is considered to be the best all-around shooter in the world. Doug's a busy guy. He doesn't have much time to go hunting, although he loves it. He's usually traveling all over the world attending shooting events. He did have 2 weeks towards the end of September and expressed an interest in hunting some of the Arctic species. Now I know Fred Webb. Fred's a good friend of mine, one of the greatest outfitters in the north, so I set up a muskox hunt on Victoria Island for Doug and I. We met in Kugluktuk, right on the edge of the Arctic Ocean, and then hopped in a twin otter to fly over to Victoria Island. There we were met by our guides, including Charlie Bolt. Charlie and I have hunted together many times before, both for muskox and bearing ground grizzly bears. He's a great guy, knows his stuff, and is a true blue Inuit.
You there, baby. Let's take it back to civilization.
Now normally muskox are hunted in the spring when there's lots of snow and you use snow machines. At the time of year that Doug and I were hunting them, travel was a bit problematical. We had to use quads pulling small Cometics, wooden runnered sleds. Just arrived, but it's been planes, trains, and automobiles. Well, no trains. Get to camp, After about an 8-mile quad ride, there's muskox herd there, muskox herd here. We can walk right from camp. Unbelievable. I see caribou herd up on the mountain. We passed all kinds of caribou on the way in here on the quads. Boy, all the driving, all the waiting at airports, it's all worth it. Yeah, well, this is going to be a spectacular hunt. Yeah, there's one real big one in the middle, so. One coming towards them. That's what I think, yeah, 4 at least. We're about 5 minutes from camp, and we've come across a big herd of muskox, including 4 good bulls. So we're probably going to go after them if we can figure out a way to call. Hey, I was thinking we got to decide who gets to shoot first.
Yes, we do.
We could wrestle.
That's fine.
Yeah, no.
Just 2 poles.
Yeah, 2 poles for that. Paper, scissors, rock.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's my gun.
A gun, okay, I got paper. I lose, you get to shoot first.
Okay. So what do you do, stalk them then from
I
here?
don't know. You could hit him from here. We got a big bull here, and we're gonna go sneak in. And I lost the paper, scissors, rock gun, so Doug gets to shoot first. It looks like a record book. I mean, it's for muzzleloader for sure.
Yeah.
Should be bone and crock, it looks like.
It looks good.
That's what Charlie figures.
Yeah.
Start to go? Yeah. Stay close together. Don't shoot through that front shoulder though.
Okay.
He's got to move just a little bit. Line up. He's going to walk. Quartering away. You ready?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he stops. You don't want to be shooting quartering away.
No. Can't shoot that. It's got to be broadside. Yeah, 124 now. And he's speeding up. Almost. This thing's not working. You don't use a rest day, you didn't use a rock, you wanted to use your sling and your...
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
God, I'm going to have to teach you how to shoot.
Yeah. I'm all ears.
Okay. Yeah. If Doug and I didn't look too disappointed missing that opportunity, it's because we weren't. How can you get disappointed when there's this many animals around? They were everywhere. Yes, you're not going to be able to get everyone you go after, but it sure is a lot of fun seeing them and trying. To find Doug a bull was really a matter of finding another herd and working our way in closer, and then finding a bull big enough. Triple shot. I'm sure you don't have enough energy to go right through, but just it's not worth taking a chance, eh? Oh, they're gonna start to go. They are spread out now.
You ready, Cody?
Yeah. Cows on the right.
Yep.
Bull's in between. Here he comes. Broke his leg for sure. He's obviously down and out.
Down for the count.
Yeah, normally you have to be real careful, but they've been trying to get rid of the cow and the other bull.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, one shot in the shoulder there.
It's perfect. Look at the size of that.
God, they're huge. Huge. Look at that.
Hey,
Thank you, Jim.
he is
What
a
a bull.
monster. Look at this. You see, you can't see all the boss in there because all this hair is on there.
Yeah.
But that's at least a 10-inch boss. Oh,
Dandy.
he
Look at
that's
the coat on this.
yeah. magnificent.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun, I have to tell you, making stock after stock on these shaggy leftovers from the last ice age. Doug's sponsor is Leupold and Stevens. He uses their scopes all over the world. And they're also one of my sponsors for the show, so I have to tell you there was a little bit of competition between us. He already had his muskox down on the ground, so I was looking to get a bigger one. I wanted more brownie points with the Leupold boys. Well, we made a long stalk, we got right above him perfect, and I'm going to have to let him go. Just didn't look big enough. Not big enough. We're looking for biggest muskox in the world up here with Fred Webb on Victoria Island in Nunavut territory. Close, close. Oh well, if it was easy we wouldn't do it. It's never easy when you're being selective on the animal you want to take, but with the hunt winding down, it was either take the next one we see or go home without a muskox. Fortunately, the next one we saw was a great bull. He's quartering towards me a little bit, so I want to get him to turn a touch. He's not very happy. I can't shoot right now, the cow's in the way. Oh, they're beautiful, magnificent animals from the Ice Age. The cow's blocking my view, or the cow's in behind the bull, and I don't want the bullet to go pass through and hit her. Oh, he's pretty owly, this guy. I gotta be a little bit careful here. I'm just gonna turn my scope down a little bit in case I get myself in a pickle. Okay. Amazing hunt. We got the cow still standing here. She'd never seen a human before. He'd never seen a human before up here. The remote tundra of Victoria Island, hunting with Fred Webb. Just, I can't, I'm speechless. Just such an adventure. Oh yeah. This definitely isn't the South Pacific. That's where you're headed, to an island called New Caledonia, hunting for rusa deer. Rusa deer are like a miniature elk with 3 points on each side only. And the interesting thing about rusa deer is they roar. The island itself is located in the Coral Sea. That's in the South Pacific. It's near places like Tonga and Fiji, exotic places. And let me tell you something, it is a beautiful island. The people there are Polynesian descent. And the plant life is spectacular. spectacular. Some parts of the island are almost jungle. Other parts are more pastoral, farm-like. But what brings the hunter there isn't the beauty, it's the deer, the Rusa deer. They were imported from Java a long time ago, and they've pretty well taken over the island. They're one of the most interesting deer species in the world. They look like small elk with 3 pointed antlers, 3 points on each side, and they'll rip up the underbrush and fill their antlers with it as they walk along and wallow in mud. The best time to hunt them is at the end of July and August during the rut. New Caledonia, we're looking for Rusa stags. We've just arrived and we're going to go introduce ourselves. This is a French protectorate, so everybody here speaks French. That's the language that they speak on this island. So this is my guide. Right? En français, it's guide. Ah, ça va bien et toi? Je m'appelle Jim Jacques. Qu'est-ce que vous avez dit dans cette classe d'aujourd'hui?
No Francais. Grant Robinson. I'm from Australia.
Oh, you don't speak French?
No, I know the basics, the please and thank you.
Yeah, I studied French for 2 years in high school for this occasion, and you speak English. Oh well.
Waste of time.
So what's happening? I guess.
There's some stags actually roaring up here. They're
I could hear that when we were just walking up.
pretty active in the rut, so.
That roaring I hear, that's them.
Yeah, really deep,
Really?
aggressive challenge to the other males.
Oh, that's exciting. I thought this place was filled with lions and tigers and all kinds of stuff.
I hope not.
Well, we got a muzzleloader, we're safe. I was actually only an observer on this hunt. My 16-year-old son, Bramlin, was on his first international hunt. He was going to be the first hunter. And my father, 75 years old, was going to be the second hunter.
You can see all the females starting to come down into the clearing out of the bush. The stags, they seem to be behind them. You can hear them still roaring back in the bush. But hopefully they'll come down just behind them. If we get a look at some in the clear, we can see if we can put a stalk on, which should be...
So they come out later, right?
Yeah, they tend to, when they're really in the rut, they're not as cautious and they'll come out first, but they're still warming up for the rut, and so they tend to let the ladies go first and check if there's any danger. Under that green tree on the right, you can see this stag, he's got all the grass up in his antlers. They're always working on trees and tussocks and things to polish up their antlers, get the velvet off, get them sharpened up for fighting. And he's just got a big bundle up in there. You can see another stag. There's a nice stag down the bottom here. And this thick bush here gives way to there's a bit of a clearing, or we can get through out of sight. If we can come down on them, we should be able to get into a shooting position and get within range of the muzzleloader, which would be good.
Not only do these Rusa deer make different noises than our deer in North America, they behave very differently. You don't hunt them early in the morning or late in the evening. You won't find them. They're in the thick cover, that jungle that covers all the hillsides. Instead, you start hunting them in the middle of the day, 10 in the morning. That's when they start coming out of the jungle into the openings in the bottom of these valleys. They're called paddocks. There's so many deer, they've taken over this island, and as you're making the stalks, you're bumping into the does or hinds. Bran and Grant not only bumped into the female deer, they also bumped into a great stag on the way down to the one they were after.
I think we can find a better one, Bran, and in the open too with a better shot. This guy, he's not offering much of a shot, but I think we can do better with a better trophy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a nice animal. Just wait and wait. No.
Anytime if you can make them stop. I went through him and hit the water.
Nice shot, man. That was a great shot. Went straight down. He's finished.
Wow.
That's great.
So rooster deer.
There was hundreds of animals. There must have been 200-300 here.
Yeah, well when we came, yeah.
There was those couple that were on the far slope. They were nice animals, but we waited and waited for hours. Eventually, when this guy came out, he was as good as any.
Yeah, when we started up there, you could see them all the different herds all over.
I didn't think he was going to stop the second time. Like he paused with the doe just behind him the first time, and I thought the second time I didn't know if he was going to pull up for a steady shot, but a bit of a whistle got him to stop.
Yeah, it worked out.
And you did the rest. Man, smack on the button.
That was really great. I don't even know what to say.
You got a good memory to take with you and a lovely
Yeah,
trophy.
no.
My son, Bran, had made a perfect shot on his rooster deer. A long shot too. The nozzle bullet and the night performed beautifully. But now it was time for my 75-year-old father to go after his rooster deer. Our outfitter for the hunt, Bob Penfold, who owns Hunt Australia, told me long before the hunt, when I'd booked it, that he felt a young man like my son and an older gent like my father would have no trouble getting a good rooster deer on New Caledonia, even if they're using a muzzleloader. Dad's an old meat hunter from way back, but he still wanted the full meal deal down in New Caledonia. He wanted to go walking and stalking for these rooster deer. But ultimately, he ended up hunting them just like we hunt our white-tailed deers up in Saskatchewan. He ended up sitting still and waiting for them.
So we'll wait here, wait for him to push out of this bush, and we'll wait for him to come down in this, out in front of us here, or off to our left. There's this clearing here.
Mm-hmm.
You got a good rest here. We'll use that and make sure it's a good animal. And just see what comes down. We should have plenty of time to make the shot, get a good hold. And
Yeah.
just wait and see. They're roaring well up in here, not far off. Just
Yeah.
over here. So
Yeah, I hear them, yeah.
as the afternoon wears on, they'll come down.
Okay, you point them out and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Those are wild turkeys, by the way. They were introduced to New Caledonia about the same time the rooster deer were. It was great to see them. And it was great to sit there, just like we hunt our deer, and watch the rooster deer as they began pouring out of the slopes. We could see them on the far mountainside in the openings, the big stags getting ready to come out. Or at least, granted, I could see them. My father did what every 75-year-old man does after walking all morning and sitting in the sunshine all afternoon. He snoozed. We let him snooze too, even when the first of the stags started coming out in the open. But eventually we had to wake him up from dreamland because his stag was headed right towards us.
You hit him, you got him just behind the shoulder, through the lungs. He's going to run, he's going to run. He'll run a bit, he'll go a couple hundred yards. He's going, he's slowing up, he's staying back from the pack.
Where is he at right now?
He's just back of the shoulder, through the lungs. Good work. Just
Good guide, good guide.
Good shot. No, it's been a busy day. How the hell did you keep up? You're 75.
Yeah.
I'm 25.
Well,
and you followed us all around these hills.
You guys waited often enough for me.
No, we stalked that first one. He was bedded down and he got away on us. But this guy, when he came right down and was slopping around in the mud and wallowing, I thought, and then you made a great shot right through the point of the shoulder and angling back.
Yeah.
I can't believe he ran like that.
They're tough. They're a tough animal.
So is this what you came for?
You bet it is. I think I'm going to come back too.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll have to stay fit so I can keep up with you.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to wait too much longer before I come back either.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty thrilled about it.
This one's too small, but you guys are going to go watch a hunter that gets one that's real big. Michael Whitson out of Arkansas came up as a guest of the night muzzleloading crew, and I got the pleasure of guiding him, and he got a beautiful bear. Baiting is not allowed in British Columbia, so we have to spot and stalk these monster black bears. We get up high and glass logging roads and logging slashes. With Michael, it took about an hour to spot a beautiful black bear. The bear was way up high on a landing, a logging landing, and the only way to get there was to park the truck and crawl up through the slash. It's something I do not like to do because I'm getting too old. My knees are too sore these days. But Michael's pretty good shape, so I thought, let's give it a shot. Fortunately, we got up there after about an hour hike, and the bear was still there. There he is. There he is. Is that him? Yeah, come. Sure looks like a big boar. Yeah, it's a big boar. You gotta stay in line with me now.
Can we get that stuff up the top?
We're gonna try. Stay in line with me, everybody stay in line.
Roger.
Yeah, right behind, hide behind the black. That big bear must have been living on that landing all spring or in and around it. He had all the alders broken off and trashed. They mark their territory like that, just like a white-tailed deer makes a rub. I wear black as well when I'm trying to stalk on these bears, so that hopefully they'll mistake me with their poor eyesight as another bear moving in on his turf.
On top.
There's a big stump right to your left. I tried everything to keep that bear in a position where Michael could get a shot at him. I tried huffing, imitating the sound of a boar, but nothing worked. By the time Michael got in position, the bear had moved off. There wasn't anything else left for us to do but head back down.
That's a good bear.
There's a pig.
Head. He looked like a
He's pretty smart, that guy. I thought if we came up here, we might catch him being aggressive, but he beat us this time. Let's go find another one. It's still time tonight. That was 10th bear and a shooter, but we zigged. It was Michael's first day, and we were having a good day. We'd seen a lot of bears, but there was one more spot I wanted to check. It's a big open valley with a deactivated road going into it. You can't drive, you actually have to walk. And every time I've been in that valley, I've seen good bears. We started seeing them right off the bat. But it wasn't until evening that we spotted a bear, a big bear, in a perfect position for a stalk.
Looks pretty like a boar.
Yeah, he's got a big wide snout. Come on. This side. Come on, we can move right in on him. We'll get right close. Come on. See. Do you have a reload? He's down right here. Good shoot. That was great.
Led me right to him.
It happens that quick?
Oh.
How far did we walk?
Gosh, we were right on him.
2 miles, and all of a sudden...
He put me right on him. Man.
I didn't get good luck.
He looked like a big bear.
Looks like a big bear, big wide snout on him. Perfect hide too. I mean, you can tell he's a boar.
Gosh,
as soon as you look at him, big wide schnozzle on him.
That knot took him right down.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's after pounding it through all that slash after those other bears, and then when it had to perform, it did.
Did the trick.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go see what he is.
Okay. Appreciate it. That was great. You put me right in there on him.
Well, the bear was pretty cooperative. That's one of our aggressive bears in this country, so he was going to let you come right in.
Oh yeah, this new Night Disc Extreme, man, it's just been, it just did the job.
You know, I'm a big fan of the Night Rider. That's probably their biggest fan, I dare say. So I know what it could do at a bear at that distance. I have to be a little bit careful right now because the rut's on out here in Nunavut territories, and this muskog's a little bit owly. And you know, actually, thank goodness for the rut. It makes our hunting so much easier, especially for whitetails. The hunt you're about to watch is a whitetail hunt where Cody Robbins, my cameraman, takes a beautiful 5x5 buck on camera by himself. Now, I was there, but I was out of position to video, so he had to do it all himself. And it's the toughest thing to ever do. You know, follow the buck in, make sure you get a clean shot, and then pick him up again. It's an amazing bit of footage. And
He's got a lot of black on his tail, it looks maybe. I don't know what he's got in him, but that's pretty cool. I love that photo. There's a good one.
Hey, you do a knuckle.
That's pretty cool.
Good shooting. Hey, he's a nice buck.
That's a nice deer.
5x5. You got some kind of weird junky stuff on him or something.
Yeah.
Like a little sticker or what?
I don't know. He's got maybe 2 little stickers, I think.
What do you figure? 145, close to 150, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably. But he's got to go 150 just because.
I think he'll be between 145 and 150. Nice long tines, I think. Yeah. It's a nice deer.
With muzzler.
Let's go get him.
All right, cool.
Nice 5x5.
Oh man, Cody, he's beautiful.
Nice long tines.
Turn him sideways, let me see. Holy smokes, Code.
Nice long points. What's up with the cameraman getting to shoot a buck?
Yeah, that's right, before me.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. This horn,
man,
this right antler is really nice. Long G-force.
Yeah, he'll go 150.
Yeah, he's a 150 buck.
Yeah.
I love hunting here in North America. I recognize the sounds, the ravens in the background. I know what animals to expect, but I also love hunting off continent. For really exotic adventure, you have to do that. And one place that's definitely off continent is Australia. These water buffalo were introduced to Australia way back when from Asia, and they've pretty much taken over the northern part of Australia. The government's been trying to get rid of them for years and they can't. It's too remote up there. There's another reason they can't. It's very dangerous hunting these buffalo. Some think more dangerous than hunting African Cape buffalo. And even worse, they're bigger than the African Cape buffalo. Bob Penfold was our outfitter, and he told me the best time to hunt these buffalo is at the end of July and into August. That's the Australian winter, believe it or not, their dry season. And the water buffalo can be found out on the plains, the floodplains that have dried up, or in the swamps. We were met there by Duff Gifford and Peter, the assistant guide. The next morning, basically the first morning of the hunt, Duff and Peter decided we were going to hunt the floodplain. Now the floodplain isn't exactly a good name for it, or it wasn't that year because they've been suffering through a drought for 2 years. So the floodplain that normally should have water and knee-deep, waist-deep grass was a flat, baked pancake, basically. Now we could see these huge buffalo out in the middle of this great flats, but they were a long way out, and there's no way you're going to get out there without them seeing you. So we watched them, waited, hoping to see them come back in towards the trees. And it was right around lunch when that's exactly what happened. Duff said, "Look, there's a big buffalo coming. Everybody get down. Quick over here, crawl." We all set up. My dad was the shooter. And this huge, monstrous buffalo came walking all the way across this floodplain. He must have seen us, right to us. He kept coming and coming. And, I mean, it was the most spectacular thing. And you can't even describe what it feels like to have a 2,000-pound animal coming straight towards you, looking right at you, knows you're there. He must have been curious, who knows what. I mean, I know I had the camera in my hands and I was scared.
Oh, shot. Give him another one. Reload.
My father, 75 years old, always wanted a buffalo hunt. Just made a perfect shot when he came in within 22 yards. It was unbelievable. It was neat. The next day, though, I was ready to go hunting again. And we went right back to the floodplain where we'd seen so many of those big bulls. We were hunting most of the day. Before. It was actually the evening when we found the bull of all bulls. It was a combination sweeper and lunar by himself out in the floodplain. And what a hunt. I mean, my heart was pounding the whole way. We had to crawl along through this wide open area. He saw us, but he didn't care. I mean, he's the king of the jungle. There's no predators there that would dare. There's no predators at all that would dare take on a buffalo that size. So he didn't care. We moved in closer and closer. My heart was beating, louder and louder and harder and faster and faster. And when I got within 60 yards, that was close enough. I figured with night muzzleloader and my nozzle bullet, I have to be able to make this shot. When he took a step and showed me his heart, that's what I aimed for. He didn't go hardly anywhere after the shot. It was, golly, I'll tell you what, that was one of the most exciting hunts I'd ever been on. As the sun set there in the outback, I mean, I've said it before, but standing there, I had to say it again. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, shot. Yep. Nice. Well done. He's got that lead back. Let's keep it out. Don't scare him. Just let him. He doesn't know. He's not too scared. Let him take a fake. Oh, beautiful shot. What a stalk. Oh, mate.
So, here we are on a floodplain in Australia, Northern Territories, with Hunt Australia. Unbelievable. I mean, you got to try this. You just can't, it's spectacular. I mean, if a 75-year-old hunter can get one, 16-year-old hunter can get one, and a 44-year-old approximately hunter can get one with sore knees and no more eyes and bad elbows and shoulders. I mean, anyone can get it. It's incredible. What a hunt. Spectacular. Yeah, muzzleloader on top of it. World's record with muzzleloader. Thank you, Knight. Thank you, Nosler. Thank you, Loophole. Thank you, all the sponsors. It was a great hunt.
And thanks to the guides too. You guys, without you guys, we couldn't have done it.
Say goodbye to civilization.
Jim Shockey presents more action-packed, high-adventure hunting videos. Jim Shockey's Hunting Adventures video series, featuring African safaris, cave bears on the Pacific Rim, and the Canadian whitetail adventure videos, highlighting successful hunts from all over the world. Award-winning video footage will keep you at the edge of your seat. Monster whitetail bucks, close up and personal. Spot and stalk giant Vancouver Island black bear, plus dangerous game muzzleloader hunts for Cape buffalo, moose, water buffalo, and polar bear at 15 feet. Plus Jim's own world record hunts for Roosevelt elk, bison, plains game, and much more. Jim Shockey's hunting videos. Order all and save.
That was frightening.
It was. I got no gun either.
I know, we had one shot. Quite a spiritual thing being out here in the Yukon, and it's the most remote place you can be in North America nowadays. I mean, they're surrounded by all this magnificence. And here with my guide Tyler, he's going to take us to a big moose, hopefully. We're going to get up there today. What's the name of the mountain we're going to be hunting on, Tyler?
I don't know the real name, I just know the native name. That point right there.
That's a pretty famous moose.
I can't, I'm sorry. You started it.
Look at this, it's already starting to freeze. He just picked it. It doesn't look cold out here, but it's, like I said, that's already ice. Now, this is a delicacy. I'm not sure, some kind of a seaweed, but it's actually not bad. It's like salty seaweed. It's not bad. Be a huge hit in New York. It's got a real wild aftertaste too. Yeah. That's pretty nice. Anybody got some Thousand Island dressing? I got some cut in my throat. We're on our way back now. We're kind of on a race because it's getting dark. The ocean's pretty calm. It's starting to ice up, so we're trying to pick our way through there. Plus, we're low on gas. You know, for all I know, the motor might not conk out too. But I don't want to hitchhike. That's for darn sure. This is starting to freeze up. We gotta get back in there. I'll see you on the next adventure. If you ever get a chance, come out here and try this. Spectacular hunt. It's a pretty